The office clock struck past midnight, the city skyline glittering beyond the glass walls of Kane Enterprises. Amara shuffled papers, exhaustion heavy in her eyes. She wasn't supposed to be here this late, but Adrian Kane, the youngest and most ruthless CEO in the country, demanded perfection. Still working. His deep voice startled her. She looked up. Adrian stood at the doorway, tie loosened, his sharp features softened by the late hour. For a man who rarely showed emotion, tonight he seemed almost human. "Yes, sir," Amara replied softly. "The reports for tomorrow's board meeting weren't ready. I didn't want you to worry." For a moment, his lips curved in the faintest smile. "You're different, Amara. Most people care about the paycheck. You care about the work." Her heart fluttered. That was the beginning. The nights when he'd linger by her desk, the quiet dinners when he insisted she eat instead of starving through her shifts, the rare glimpses of warmth hidden behind his cold exterior. And then, one night, everything changed. A rainstorm raged outside, trapping them in the office. Power flickered. In the dim light, he reached for her hand. "Why do I feel like you see me? Not the CEO, not the name, just me," he whispered. Her breath caught. "Because I do." He kissed her then, fierce and desperate, as though he had been waiting for her all along. That night, Amara gave him her heart, and her trust. But dreams don't last forever. 2 weeks later, Clara walked in. Elegant, flawless Clara, the woman Adrian had loved for years before she left him for someone richer. Now widowed, she returned, seeking comfort in Adrian's arms. Amara saw it happen with her own eyes. Clara standing in the CEO's office, smiling sweetly. Adrian's expression, unreadable, but softer than she had ever seen. Later that evening, Adrian called Amara into his office. "You wanted to see me, sir." Her voice trembled. He avoided her gaze. "Amara, this can't continue. Clara is back." Her heart shattered. "Back, and that means what we had, means nothing." He flinched but remained firm. "I care about you, but my heart has always belonged to her." "I'm sorry." Tears blurred her vision. "Adrian, don't make this harder." He cut in, voice cold now, as though she were just another employee. She walked out of his office that night, numb, rain soaking her as she stepped into the storm. Adrian never came after her. Weeks later, Amara discovered she was pregnant. Alone, terrified, and broke, she chose silence. She left the city quietly, clutching her belly, whispering to her unborn child. The ballroom shimmered with crystal chandeliers and golden light. The annual Elite Investors Gala was where power and money met, and Adrian Kane was at the center of it all. He wore a tailored black suit, exuding authority, his arm casually resting on Clara's waist. The two made a picture-perfect couple, envied by many. "Adrian, your company is dominating the market as always," a fellow CEO praised. Adrian gave a polite smile. But inside, he felt restless, an emptiness that even Clara's presence couldn't fill. Suddenly, the host's voice echoed through the hall. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome tonight's most anticipated guest, the youngest self-made billionaire of our time, Miss Amara Hale." The name struck him like lightning. Adrian froze. Amara. All eyes turned toward the grand entrance. A hush fell over the crowd. There she was. Amara walked in with regal poise, her black velvet gown flowing elegantly, diamonds sparkling at her throat. But what silenced the room wasn't her transformation into a goddess of power. It was the little boy holding her hand. Dark hair, sharp jawline, and Adrian's unmistakable gray eyes. His glass slipped, shattering on the floor. Clara stiffened beside him. Amara's gaze swept the room before settling on Adrian. A faint, cold smile touched her lips. She didn't falter. She didn't hide. She walked straight toward him, her heels clicking against the marble floor. "Mr. Kane," she greeted, voice calm, commanding. "It's been years." Adrian's chest tightened. "Amara." His voice cracked, betraying the storm inside him. "You, how?" The boy tugged Amara's hand. "Mommy, is he the man you told me about?" The crowd gasped. Whispers spread like wildfire. Adrian's heart pounded as he looked at the child, his son. The resemblance was undeniable. He had her warmth but his features, his eyes, his presence. "Amara," Adrian whispered hoarsely, taking a step closer. "Why didn't you tell me?" Her eyes turned to steel. "Tell you?" When you discarded me like I was nothing. When you chose her over me. She flicked her gaze at Clara, who paled. I raised my son without your name, without your help, without your empire. And I built one of my own. Gasps filled the room again. Screens displayed Amara's company, Hale Enterprises, which had risen abroad to rival Kane Enterprises itself. Adrian swallowed hard, his confidence unraveling. Amara, please, I made a mistake. She raised her hand sharply. Don't. Her voice carried across the hall. The man who once ignored me for his first love no longer exists in my world. My son and I don't need you. We never did. The boy leaned against her, and she kissed his forehead gently before turning away. For the first time in his life, Adrian Kane, the man everyone feared, the man who had everything, realized what true loss felt like. The woman he once overlooked was now untouchable, and the son he never knew existed was slipping through his fingers. As Amara walked out of the ballroom, leaving Adrian in stunned silence, the only thought that consumed him was, how do I win back what I so carelessly threw away? Don't worry, little one. I may not have money, but I'll give you love. And one day, we'll return stronger. He may have ignored us, but he will never break us. And with that vow, Amara disappeared from Adrian's world.